in that post. Did anyone get a chance to look at it about sex addiction? Anyone? Talk about sex addiction. This is my favorite conversation. No. I'll talk with my pops, and he's a licensed clinical psychologist. And sex addiction is as much bullshit as there is out there. It's a great way to get out of a lack of accountability. I cheated on my wife 35 times, and I finally was caught. So I'm just gonna say I'm addicted to sex. So therefore, we can save the marriage. And there's actually no in the DSMV. Is anyone familiar or not familiar with the DSMV? What that stands for?
No.
So think of when it comes to movement, you want to go, or just when you go to, you're sick, you go to a physician. Those are the doctors. Western medicine is going to be who we want to go to. When it comes to psychological disorders, the DSMV, the Diastolic Statistical Manual of Psychological Disorders, and this is where you would go to find if it truly is problem. So when we talk about it in class, when it comes to nutrition, we suggest to go to Examine. Examine is a board of nutritionists, doctors, RDs who are looking at the current meta-analysis on research, and then they're providing you the most up-to-date literature. So when it comes to psychological stuff, we need to look at the DSMV. Now, we've all heard of sugar addiction, right? People like to put it in their story all the time. What have we heard about it?
That it's addicting?
Sugar's addicting. Sugar's the worst thing in the world. Sugar feeds cancer. Sugar is bad. And this is always funny because I'm not saying it's good. We're not saying that to go out there and start consuming more sugar. What we're doing is educating the masses on what sugar is. And so when you look at this definition, cravings and urges to use the substance. Well, we've all had that before. I have a sweet tooth. You've all heard that. What is your sweet tooth? Put in the chat box here. What is your sweet tooth? Everyone has it. What is yours? Anyone?
Like what you crave?
Yeah. So what is your sweet tooth? Crunchy bars, Michelle, cookies, cake frosting, chocolate, brownies, chocolate. Oh my lordy, sandwiches, ice cream sandwiches. November and December during the holidays, mad stuff, love it. Well, why didn't anyone in here specifically just type sugar? No, what we have here, every single person on here put a combo of sugar and fat. And what that does to your mouth, let's take a look at our anatomy real quickly. And this is, why can't I go a new one? First off, can you guys, oh shit. What are you guys looking at right now? Yeah, DSMV.
Your screen.
A Google search.
Yeah, so why isn't it popping up? Damn Mac. Control T should be a new bar. I don't know what's happening. Well, let me finish off this definition then. So not managing to do what you should at work, home, or school because of that substance use. So have there been times when maybe you were studying and you're like, I need that York patty, and then you just stop immediately, you run to the store and you hijack and steal that York peppermint patty? You continue to use it when it causes problems in relationships. So you're eating that York peppermint patty while you're on a date with your husband or wife, and they're talking to you and you're just saying, no, you're just eating your York peppermint patty. And then you giving up important social, occupational, recreational activities because of that use. Where your friends are like, hey, I really want you to come to this party tonight. You go, no, I'm having a York peppermint pity party tonight. I'm just going to eat all that. And so when you look at what, let's go taste, tongue, theology. This is always a cool little chart. So when you look at how the tongue works, let's look at a simple one. That's a good one. So you can see the tongue has different, these are called chemoreceptors. We've heard of the word chemo before, probably chemotherapy is what we're making reference to, but it's making chemicals. And so you have these receptors that go to your brain. And you have them actually on top of your mouth as well. Here's a fun little physiology trick for you. We've all had a brain freeze, right? What the hell is a brain freeze? What do we typically have a brain freeze with?
Eating something cold too fast.
There you go.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. I like that. And when you have your ice cream, you throw it in your mouth, and the first place that it goes is right on top of your mouth. So try this. Get a bunch of matches and light it right under a fire alarm. It's going to go off. It's not rocket science. And so you're pushing very, very cold sensory substance onto those receptors. So they send a signal to your brain right away. Oh shit, cold, 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 cold. So the best way to overcome a brain freeze is you just take your tongue and just put it on top of your mouth. And then it just cools that down. Actually, that way it warms it up and you won't experience that. This is a fun little thing you can do with like the science experiments. We did this in physiology way back in the day. But you can close your eyes, put a little blindfold on, and you can dip into a, what am I looking at right now? A ear thingy, what are those called? Q-tips. You dip it into sugar or something bitter or sweet, or you can actually take the food and then you have the subject with their tongue out, their eyes closed, and then you just dab on that area. And so if I were to take something that is salty and I dab it right in the middle of your tongue, right there, you're not going to taste anything. What is this? And they'll be like, I don't know. You tap it on the sour part, they're not going to taste anything. If you tap it right on the sides, right on more the lateral portions, then you would taste that salty substance. So you have sweet, salty, sour, and back there for purpose reasons. Why do you think we have bitter back here? Back in the day, we throw some bitter berries in our mouth that aren't good. Most of the time, it would kill us. So evolutionary, we have learned to evolution, we get these receptors back there that cause that gag reflex. That's not good. Gag it out. Get it out of your mouth because you don't want to swallow that. So physiology, when it comes to just the anatomy, we're super big in the anatomy, as you guys know. That's where we need to address a lot of this, and we'll take a look at these individuals here in a second. But when we look at sugar addiction, what people are consuming are things that taste fucking amazing. Try having some broccoli next time you're really, really hungry. It's not going to be as satiating. And so when you look at the physiological response, most of the time when you wake up, let's play a little game here. So who woke up the earliest today? If Josh was on the call, he would say it was him because he's usually up at 3. Who was up before? Anyone up between 3 and 4? Okay, next one, 4 to 5. Anyone from 4 to 5? 4:30, Sherry May.
I'm up at 4 every day.
Tyler, nicely done. 4. Tyler wins. So he was up at 4 o'clock. All right. Now, do we typically wake up in the first 20, 30 minutes go, oh my God, I have that crazy chocolate sweet tooth right now. I just want that York peppermint patty. I really need that soda. Is that typical? Oh, Nicole says it's at night. When else do we experience these cravings?
When you're reading.
Okay, I like that. So yeah, there we go. So when we're stressed, maybe when you're reading, maybe when you leave the house and you're walking down, we're in Philadelphia, you're walking down the busy street and, oh, what the hell is that smell? Oh, what's that? Oh, I'm hungry. Are you hungry or did you smell something that just smells amazing? So that's when we start programming ourselves that we want that because we see it. Oh my God, that ice cream looks amazing. I need some ice cream. And so is there ever a point when you were twitching because you didn't have your York peppermint patties and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to go rob this store right here. And I'm going to go to gunpoint and get those York peppermint patties. So it's actually not fair to true addicts when we simplify addiction by saying things like, I'm addicted to sugar. No, it's you are at home and you had a terrible day. You're not content with your life. You're not very happy. You hate your husband, your wife, your kids, your job. You're not financially stable. You're not happy because of coulda, woulda, shouldas. All of this stress and these barriers are on your shoulders. And at home you come, there's no one there. There's no one to look at you on what's the little naughty things that you do. So what do? You have a York peppermint patty and guess what? Your day sucked ass. But that peppermint patty was amazing. And all of a sudden, because of that explosion fireworks of all these fun stuff that's in your mouth, you go, oh my gosh, I need another one. So you have another one. Then you have another one. And then you have another one. You have another one. You have another one. There's no York peppermint patty that caused obesity. Sugar does not cause obesity. The overconsumption of it does. I'm not telling us to go out there and have York peppermint patties every single meal. There's no cupcake out there that is causing diabetes. It's the combination. But what we like to do as uneducated fitness influencers, we like to simplify it and say, if you want to get in amazing shape as a 22-year-old influencer, you need to give up sugar, you need to give up alcohol, and you can't have A, B, C, and D. You got to eliminate. So I always like to go back, and here's what we teach with shoulder anatomy. When you are in the gym and someone wants to give you some advice on the exercise that you're doing and it's upper body, ask that person, what are the names of the rotator cuff muscles? Simple question. If they can't tell you that, we're not having this conversation. Thank you for advice. Oh my God, I like your glasses, I like your shirt, badass. But the information you're about to give me is not warranted because you don't understand the fundamentals. Be like talking to a professor. We're doing some very complicated quadratic formula equations. Remember that? I don't remember it. A times B squared, all this crazy shit. What if you raise your hand and say, hey, doc, I'm a little lost. Can we just go back to the basics real quick? And can we start with 1 + 1? He goes, boom, of course, Chris, 19. Pardon me? 1 + 1 is 19. No. What's okay? 2 + 3, 30. You're not going to continue to listen to this advanced equation if they can't tell you the basics. If a trainer comes up to you in a gym, maybe you should test people. We can get this on social media. Do an exercise kind of wrong by a trainer and see if you can lure them over. Oh, you're doing that wrong. Oh, I'd love to learn more about this. I was actually just listening to a podcast right now, and they were telling me if someone were to come over to you and challenge an exercise with proper form, that person should know at least the basics. So could you tell me the rotator cuff muscles? It's a cup. It's like you got your cup and there's muscles on it, and that's what it is. Shut up. Get out of here. So we do the same with lower body. If you're doing some squats and a trainer comes over to you, pick one of the groups. Don't do the glutes. That's too easy. Tell me the 4 muscles of the quads. Tell me the 3 muscles of the hamstrings. You can't tell me that. I'm not listening to you. Don't get into the complexities behind proper form, posture. Oh my God. If you can't tell me the fucking 4 quad muscles, you got to know the basics. And so if you want to tell me about why chemicals are bad, if you want to tell me organics the best and you got to stay away from sugar and all this, let's go to the basics. Tell me the basic unit of carbohydrates. Tell me the basic unit of protein. Tell me the basic unit of fats, and just take me through a very, very, very simple process of digestion. What's happening in the mouth? One of the strongest muscles in the human body? No, it's not my biceps. What is it?
Mandible.
Mandible.
That's a bone.
The jaw.
The tongue.
Nope. So you're right. This is your mandible, but this muscle right here is called your
Masticator.
good. Mastication is the process. Masseter is the muscle. So your masseter is right here. That sucker. Strong ass muscle. That starts the process. And what we're doing is we're making it into smaller processes to get into your stomach, but it has to go through a tube first. What is the name of that tube that drops it off in the stomach?
Esophagus.
Imagine if someone were to say, yeah, it goes down the trachea. No, dipshit, that's your windpipe. That's where cardiorespiratory respiration takes place, trachea, lungs. We're in a different system right now. It'll be like you going down a geometry hole when we're talking about algebra. You know, I think they're different. I don't know math, so but it's like you're going down 2 different areas. And so what's happening in the stomach? What's the purpose of the stomach? Everyone screws this one up. It's for digestion. Not really. Really, there is some digestion, but digestion really doesn't take place into that first foot of the small intestine. And what's the name of that first foot?
Duodenum.
Duodenum. Duodenum, I've heard some professors call it duodenum. That's the first foot. And that's where all the cool shit happens. It goes off via diffusion, crosses over into your bloodstream. And then you're going to take in this fuel, these basic units. So really, when we look at the stomach, really the number one, there's a lot of purposes of the stomach, but like if you do a hierarchy, the number one goal of the stomach is what?
Detoxification.
Yeah, detoxify the stuff that we're eating, because 500 years ago, when we were in Philadelphia, we're walking around and where do you get your food? You don't go get a Chili's cheesesteak at the little corner. You get it on the ground and there's literally shit on it. And so the purpose of the stomach is to kill off a lot of the foreign invaders that are coming into the body. You're also going to be releasing cool gastric juices. You're going to be breaking down those units into smaller units. So it enters think of it as just like this conveyor belt. And you get on the conveyor belt and you have a crazy parka on and a jacket and your sweater and another shirt. And then you have everything else. As you go through the conveyor belt, you're slowly stripping off your clothes and you want to get to be naked. That's when the fun starts. That's when the party happens. All right. So when you're down to your basics, that's when the stuff is starting to be utilized. And so I take a carbohydrate unit, I take a protein, I take a fat. So we're going to make them into their naked unit. And so what will be the basic unit? Start with the easiest one. That's going to be protein. What is the basic unit of protein?
Amino acids.
Amino acids. And how many are there?
9.
Bente. Very good. Bente. There's 20 of them. We have 9 that are essential, 11 that are non-essential. And what do you think essential means?
The body needs it.
Get it from our diet.
There you go. No. So very good. Thank you. Two at the same time. So you get it from your diet. You need to consume that. Non-essential, body can make it. That's cool. So where do we get these from? It depends on what we're eating. You can get some from fruit. You can get some from beans. You can get all of them from an animal product. It's not to say animal products are superior, but you just get your full amino profile. That's what we call it. And for those that are not consuming animal products, I love it. Good for you. You're not better than me. I'm not better than you, but we may need to do some cross pairings to make sure we're getting a full profile because aminos are really, really important. And if you have a macronutrient deficiency because you're not getting a full amino profile, your hair can be at stake, your vision, your enzymes, testosterone, your skin, your nails, a lot of stuff can be compromised. So it's like you're building a giant brick wall, but you're missing some of the bricks and you don't have some of the concrete. It's not that stable. So the easier way, now again, not to say that's what we should be doing, but the easier way is to get something that has a full amino product. And then so when we look at the second easiest one, in my opinion, would be fat. What's the basic unit for fat?
Lipid.
No.
Triglyceride.
Good. So we take a triglyceride. Let's see where my little drawer is. So we have a fatty acid, a fatty acid, a fatty acid, and that's going to be attached to, this looks kind of bad, but so a fatty acid is going to be the basic unit. And you have 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. And then you also have a glycerol molecule. This sucker right here provides a ton of energy. 460, and the unit of energy is ATP, adenosine 3 triphosphate molecules. So we get a lot from fat. Okay, so there's a little fat lesson. And then we have my favorite, carbohydrates. And who can tell me the basic unit for carbohydrates?
Glucose.
Is one of them, yes. We'll say, Mr. Mac people, your other products that I have with the writing screen is so much easier, but this is just going to have to do. Glucose is 1. I had a banana this morning. What did I break it down into?
Right.
What?
Saccharides.
You're correct. Saccharide means it's
Fructose.
hold on. So it's the suffix, which means sugar, but you have 1 unit of sugar. So it's called a monosaccharide. And we have 3 monosaccharides. So glucose is one of them. What's the one?
And lactose.
Good. So we have fructose, which comes from fruit. People like to demonize that because they don't understand the basics and they associate it with high fructose corn syrup and they say that's bad. So then they're going to say you're going to die. Fructose, and then you have galactose. Where does galactose come from? This sounds like a badass galaxy, right? Like galactose, bad. What's galactose?
Comes from dairy.
Yeah. So when you pair up galactose and glucose, that actually is called a disaccharide. Disaccharide means 2, and that's where we make lactose. Sorry for my writing, it's not the best, but we go over this a lot more in the videos that we just mentioned. The number 1, we'll go over all this stuff. I'm just giving you a little review right now. Lactose. These are called mono. Mono means 1. Saccharides. All right, so you want to tell me sugar is bad, and you can't even tell me the basics behind sugar metabolism. What happens when sugar enters the body? Where does it go? It feeds cancer. That's what I like to hear. It's like, okay, let's just simplify everything. Let's simplify sex addiction into saying that, oh, you just like to have sex, or you're unhappy with your marriage, therefore you have an addiction, you're good to go. You get a little get out of jail free card. We really need to dive down into the basics and have a sound foundation. And the dipshits out there today, they may have a cool title, doctor, whatever, and he's giving advice on nutrition. So Dr. Oz, well, that's not his expertise. Dr. Oz is an amazing physician. And I've said this in a lot of videos before. When would we want to go to Dr. Oz? I'm not being facetious either.
Cardiovascular stuff?
Yeah, if you have a heart issue, he's one of the top cardiac surgeons in the world. I'm right in front. But the moment he tells me to have some fucking raspberry ketones, I'm going to flip him off and say, no, doc, it doesn't work like that. Fix my heart. Just like when you go to a therapist, physical therapist, the physical therapist can help with your injury. You're not going to say, oh, while I'm here, can you do my rotator cuff surgery? There's no physical therapist in the world that I know of, at least, that is a surgeon and that would do that. They don't have the same credentials. And so this is where we get in trouble today, is because at the front line of defense against obesity, who's at the front line? Trainers are. And what are our qualifications? Ooh, I got my textbook cert. There we go. I'm ready to explain to you everything that worked on me. Therefore, it's going to work on you. It doesn't work like that. So we have a trainer who passed the cert, and now they're an expert with nutrition because they did another nutrition cert class. Precision Nutrition, NASM as a CNC. These are all $1,000 plus certs that you don't even get to communicate with the dietitian or a psychologist. Both of those need to be on your team, and that's what we promote. We promote having a team of the best. So when something comes in and it's out of your ballpark, you go, you know what? Work with Dr. Lisa. You're fucked up. You got a psychological problem. I'm not going to say that, but Dr. Lisa is going to help you with that versus you have some weird skin stuff going on, or quote unquote, your gut health. It's probably your sleep and stress. We took a look at the body mass equation, and that's not working for you right now. Let's work with the registered dietitian. They're the experts. I can help you with basic stuff. And how far along you want to go down that rabbit hole depends on how educated you are. Instead of getting more certs, what I would encourage you to do, partner with one of these individuals like we've done. And then once a week, once a month, whatever you want to do, pick their brain, but don't ask to pick their brain for free. There's nothing that rubs me. I don't know why it is, but there's just something when people say, hey, Chris, I'd love to pick your brain. That just means you want my time for free. And my time is valuable. And it's just kind of disrespectful when you reach out to someone and basically say, me, my hands out, gimme. Now, if you ask professionally and say, I really love your work here. I like this. I'd be willing to pay you X amount. Can I talk to you at this time? That's more respectful. And there's a good amount of people out there that would do it for free. Alex, you on here? Boy, Alex is not on here right now, but he had a great story last week. Maybe 2 weeks ago, he reached out to a strength coach, one of the top strength coaches in the world. And that's exactly what he did. And the coach said, no, you don't have to pay me. When you get to my position in your life, pay it back. And I love that. That's what most people will do. But there's some people that are really, really busy. When I reached out to Andy Galpin, he's one of the top strength coaches, muscle physiologists, professors in the world. And I offered that. And he's like, yeah, Chris, I would love to help you guys. My hourly rate's $500. I said, great. You're worth it. I paid him the $500 and I picked his brain for that hour. I was taking notes. I'm thinking this hour, this 60 minutes right now is better than any cert, anything out there, because this guy is the expert in that arena. So why not learn from the dietitian, the psychologist, to bring back to your camp what you can offer within our realm appropriately and not overstepping the boundaries. And then when that happens, you can refer out. So when we look at sugar addiction, you're not addicted. There may be some neurological pathways that are beginning to synapse together. Remember the basic unit of the nervous system, neurons. Sure, you're going to get some cool stuff going on. A great quote from a neurophysiologist years ago was, neurons that fire together, wire together. So if you're eating sugar, and I'm not picking on this girl yesterday, but I was on a flight coming back from Philly, and there was this lady next to me, and she had 2 bags of Doritos. And I'm nosy. I look at how many calories there are. There's 290 in each bag. She had a soda and she had a little cookie. She easily just consumed 1,000 calories right there. Easy. Where was the protein? Zilch, maybe a handful, 3-4 grams. What about the palpating factors? Do you think that, and if you say no to this, I will block you from this call, but who thinks that Doritos are bad? No way. Those taste amazing. Each little bite is, oh my God, Cool Ranch. This is amazing. It tastes really, 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 really good. And your brain is super excited. And then when people will say sugar, because that's what chips are, they're sugar as well. Sugar, processed foods, they're as addicting as cocaine. All right, so let's go back to the study, which I know you didn't read. Did you read the study on what you're referencing on rabbits and the part of the brain that lit up when they gave them cocaine? It was actually, sorry. Okay, yes, it's true. When you give a rat cocaine, there's a certain part of the brain that lights up. Actually, we could probably even find it. Let's find that so you guys can see. Let's go to, there we go. So cocaine, brain activity, mice. Yeah, here we go. So these are the cool ones that you'll see. You'll see some MRI photos like this, and they'll be like, look at, this is what's happening from a brain that is not on cocaine. This is the brain that is on cocaine. This one's not. And they'll see ones like this, these MRIs, like, oh my God, look at the activity. You are getting the same response to cocaine as you are sugar. And so then, well, let's take a look at some other ones as well, which they just decide not to put on there. And this is called cherry picking evidence. And so let's look at what would happen if Nicole and I were to be walking down the Philadelphia Avenue, which we were, and there's a dog park, and there's a beautiful little puppy Labrador that runs up to you, and you start petting him. Well, guess what? Your brain does the same thing. Holy shit, dopamine's being released. Does that mean I'm addicted to petting little Labrador dogs or golden retrievers? I may like it, but it's not like I'm, oh shit, hold me back. I have to go pet that puppy. No, we have control over that. Just like we have control of our actions on a daily basis. And this isn't to downplay what has been happening through your life and how you've depended on these foods. It's not an easy turn of events where all of a sudden you watch one David Goggins video and all of a sudden you've just given up those foods. For the most part, here's a challenge for everyone in here. Giving up sugar, giving up processed foods, giving up soda, it's like to eliminate whichever one you do more. Are you more of a cursor like myself? I like to cuss. Are you a word filler? Ums, ahs, and likes. Whichever one you are, I challenge you today. Get in your story for 4 frames, 60 seconds, and don't use those words. And then continue on for the rest of the day and just stop it. No more cussing. And here's how people don't cuss. They'll do it good for a minute, maybe 5. Later on, they're going to say this. It's always funny because people go, shit, oh, fuck, oh, shit, oh. It's just all these words. Oh, I didn't mean to. The same thing with the word fillers. Don't say it. Shit, oh. And you start using them all. It's not easy to do. It's repetition, but it can be done. Those neurons that fire together, they're like this, and we need to unbond them. So you know what would help a lot is for me to get a electrical leash, put it around your neck, walk around with Keith, and anytime that he said a word, I shock him. That's going to easily work. It's the same principle behind a waist cincher or taking a pill. That is going to help you lose weight because you're getting shocked every time you look at food. What I mean by that is you wake up in the morning, you pop a pill, you see on this little thing, someone who you want to look like. You see a magical fat loss formula. So that's stuck in your brain and you're walking around and you go, cheesesteak sounds great, but I took my pill this morning. this is going to help me lose weight. So you don't have the cheesecake, whereas 10 years ago you would have. So what did we do differently? It was the pill. No, you ate less. So correlation and causation, these are important things to understand. And I want to talk about that a little bit today, because our society really likes to just take the low-hanging fruit and blame it on that. So sugar's bad for you, processed foods are bad for you. And I have to keep on reiterating this because people can just cherry pick what I'm saying. I'm not saying that those are good. I'm not saying to my clients, go have sugar, go have processed. Oh, after your workout, you got to have Doritos. Fuck yeah, and then have some shake afterwards with the Philly cheesecake. No, we're educating our clients from the mental part of it. And that's what's really important as we address our body mass equation, is to get into the psychological part where a lot of people are told no, but not the why. Do you know how easy it is to lose weight for that person next to me on the plane? For me to say, give up chips, processed foods, sugar, candy, and alcohol. You know how easy it is for her to lose weight? So freaking easy. Because those are carbs. And as we know, because we're smart trainers, carbs, the structure chemically, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. When you put hydrogen and oxygen together, what do we get?
Water.
Water. Not water, it's water. Very good, Keita. I like
Water.
it. I think with everyone in here, we could get a different water. We have water, we have water, we have water. We have, and so you have H2O. Take it out of the equation. You're going to lose water weight, and the body's 60% water, muscle 70% water. So the scale is going to go down. Do you know how freaking easy it is to lose 10 to 15 pounds in a week? It is not hard. I'm talking about scale weight, actual fat. That's a whole different ballgame because, you know, fat, it's right here, 5 pounds of this sucker. We all got this on it. This is about 1 pound, 3,500 calories. And so for that person next to me, if we were a machine, this would be super easy. Eliminate the Doritos, eliminate the soda, eliminate candy, sugar, alcohol, all that stuff. And she's just going to start shedding the pounds. Right there from those 2 bags of chips, that's 580 calories. The soda, 140 calories. That's 720 calories. You're already right on path right there in a week to lose probably 2 to 3 pounds of actual fat. But here's what we don't address properly from an educational standpoint. We try to, again, cherry pick it. What people will say is, wow, you are fat because of hormones. Hormones, that's what it is. It's hormones. We cured it all. It's easy, hormones. Because what's happening with cortisol and the evil insulin goblin, it's because of those suckers. That's why we're fat. And then on top of it, it's because we're hungry all the time. Hunger is part of our equation that we're going to address. And there's nothing wrong with hunger. We need to educate our clients that hunger is not bad. But our society, we like to simplify it again. And what do we call hunger today? We even have a nickname for it. You're not hungry, you're what?
Starving.
Hangry.
It's like, oh, you don't understand, Chris. I am hangry right now. You're like, oh shit, like I think I see demons in you. You are so, I have to have that cupcake. And they're like, whoa, you are literally working with a demon child right now. And no, we got to get into the mind. The mind is a beautiful thing. And we're going to talk about that from our psychologist. Cognitive behavioral therapy. That's going to help you with hunger, because this is the approach we should take. And tell me what Americans pretty much do today. So, Keith, what was your last life? What was your job?
Graphic designer.
And so did you work in an office setting?
Oh, yeah.
Love it. So you're in there. And when you go to your break room, you have apples, bananas, and really healthy fruit, right?
We actually did. Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Good. I like
We
that.
actually did. Yeah.
Did you have other stuff though?
Yeah. We also had the cupcakes, the cookies.
Okay.
We had a
So
plethora of.
you had
good
options, which I like. And
Yep.
so let's look at one of your coworkers at the time. Give me a name.
Mike.
Mike's in there designing shit, cool stuff for the Show Up logo. He's getting paid big bucks for it. And all of a sudden manager comes over and says, how's that? How's Kate's account going? And you go, fuck. Yeah, I've been working on the Show Up account. It's great, but that's not due until next week. Kate's account, she needs that in an hour. And I go, oh, fuck. So then I go to the break room and I'm stressed out. Do you think I'm going to grab that banana and eat the banana? You're going to go and start freaking out. Cortisol is just pumping through your body. Cortisol is a badass hormone, anti-inflammatory, but it does its job. When it does its job, it breaks down. So think of this as your fuel tank for the day. You have a tiny little hole in the bottom. So what cortisol does, it makes this hole a lot bigger. So when this hole gets bigger, whoosh, you're just cranking down your glycogen. Glycogen, what is that?
Stored
Carbs
glucose.
stored in the muscle.
Very good. So it's our carbs, which are glucose stored as glycogen in the muscle and the liver. And so that's just depleting. So your brain goes, oh shit, our fuel source for anaerobic work, which is being a badass, running, sprinting, jumping, being tough, is low. Send out an alarm, send out an alarm. And that alarm goes, we need to consume to get more sugar in there, into our muscle. So we take that alarm and go, cookies, and we pound a whole bag of cookies. And that, and we've all done it before. We made some bad decisions. A box of cookies, someone in here probably has an impressive feat on something, but you're looking at maybe 1,000 calories or plus. And then we like to blame the cookies on why we're overweight. No, it's cognitive behavioral therapy would be in that scenario. You look at the cookies and you go, ah, shit, Chris, those look amazing. Now, Chris, if I were to eat these cookies, would they taste good? I go, hoo, hoo, hoo. They are double chocolate Oreos dipped in a cool ass sugar coating. It would taste amazing. Like how amazing? We're talking really amazing. Okay, so are you going to have one? I want to have one. But ask yourself, Chris, are you going to be able to get to your workout later on today? Oh, shit, I got Kate's account. I'm going to have to be here a little extra today. So probably not. So when we look at the big spectrum of today, Chris, do you think this is going to fit within your total consumption? It could, but I'm going to need to be a little more mindful later on, and I need to have some less calories because I know tonight my wife's cooking me X, Y, or Z, and I'm going to have some wine too. So I actually can't have this cookie. So that would not be smart to do. But if I were to have the cookie, I need to compromise and not have that later on today. So what decision would you like, Chris? I'm going to decide not to have that cookie, and I'm going to go back to my seat and I'm going to do my work. That would be a perfect case scenario. Now imagine someone at Keith's work walking behind me having that conversation with myself. They'd be like, okay, we got to get Mike out of here. He is a psychopath because he was talking to some demons, and that's crazy shit right there. Now, what do most people do? They go in there, Keith, oh my God, I got Kate's account and it's so hard. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. And oh, Keith, dude, let's do a smoke break. Let's go out there and get some coffee. And he gets a latte. He's like, dude, you're having a hard day. I'm gonna get you a latte too. And he puts some badass stuff in there. And I start drinking that as well. And I go up there, have some more pretzels, some salty stuff because it feels good. I just got 900 calories. I didn't even think about it. I didn't ask myself, should I have that? I'm afraid to say, no, Keith, I'm good. I don't want that latte. I'll just take a black coffee. Why are you getting a black coffee? That's weird. Because I like being in great shape and I don't like having prediabetes. I don't know about you though, but that's my choice. Oh, you're a weirdo. Yeah, I also have giant biceps, so I'll take that. I like being a weirdo. People are constantly fit shaming us, but we're the assholes. So it's tough. It's really, really hard for our clients because they want results yesterday. And then they go online and our industry is a fucking mess. The experts are the ones who have a lot of followers and who look the part. Could you imagine looking for your heart surgeon that way? Let's see who has, oh, damn, he's hot. I want him to do my heart surgery. Oh, she's a smoke show. Just look at those glutes. She needs to do my cardiac surgery. No, not even close.